Like in a few hundred years.
Time traveling is one of the most stunning and phenomenal things that humanity has thought of. It is just an idea that hasn't been real because until today nobody has been able to make it happen.
Where do you come from?
I'm from the past.
Why have you traveled through time?
To have a question answered.
Talking about something
want to
that's so
change the
interesting
past.
and exciting for many,
you want to
and unreal at the same
You
time,
lost someone.
makes it an amazing
Someone you
topic
loved
to
very
show on
much.
screen. That's why the movie of The Time Machine is known
You
by
should go
many and
back to
has
your own
become a
time.
success in the science fiction
There are
genre.
things better left not said.
Human beings.
What if you had the opportunity to travel through time? Would you take it?
I can look inside your memories, your dreams, your nightmares.
The Time Machine movie is a science fiction film that talks about a guy who creates his own time machine to travel in time. The original idea came from the book written by my great grandfather, H.G. Wells, but the plot was completely modified and adapted to the movie's expectations. I was inspired to do it due to my grandpa's idea, so I must mention him as one of the main reasons why this movie was done.
The Time Machine movie is a science fiction film that talks about a guy who creates his own time machine to travel in time. The original idea came from the book written by my great grandfather, A.G. Wells, but the plot was completely modified and adapted to the movie's expectations. I was inspired to do it due to my grandpa's idea, so I must mention him as one of the main reasons why this movie was created. The creation of the movie was extravagant. It was something difficult to turn what is considered as an impossible idea for many possible in the screen. However, it was done with success. Preparing the film was not easy at all, since it needed lots of creativity and imagination for us to present the idea and make it seem real. We had the fortune to have DreamWorks and Warner Bros. Associated with us. Time can't exist without space, and space can't exist without time. Any event that occurs in the universe has to involve both space and time. Time travel refers to the concept of moving between different points in time. To Einstein, time is the fourth dimension. It is the one that provides direction. The other three dimensions are the ones that provide location.
We came up with the idea of time traveling because it's such an interesting topic that no one was able to show it on the big screens before. We decided to make the movie different from the book because we wanted it to have a love story besides talking about the future. When a movie has a love story, it becomes much more interesting and attractive for people. The book does not have a love story. It only focuses on time traveling. At first, when we read the book, we were not sure if we would be able to pull it off making the movie, but we did it anyway and it was a success. We wanted to give the name to the time traveler in order for the movie to have a lot more emphasis on him. That's why we call him Alexander. The Eloise creatures in the book were hard to make on the movie because their physical aspects were not common and very extravagant. We chose to make the Eloise very alike to humans, we just changed their looks and their language. The English language was destroyed, so another language was created, and that was the Eloi language. The language gave the audience a chance to have a perspective of how a future communication would be. We wanted to make an emphasis on the outbreak of the moon to give a message to people. If we continue to treat the planet the way we are treating it, we will probably end us in chaos. Time traveling is a great way to show people the effect of the present causes.
Apart from the book, there was a movie prior to us. On 1960s, the first screen production of The Time Machine came out. Starred by Rod Taylor, Yvette Mimieux, and Alan Young, the movie became a sensation. We must mention, though, that even though the main idea of time traveling is the same, and it must be so since it came from the same origin, the movies are quite different. Special effects, cinematography, characterizations, etc., all differ on a great scale from their movie and ours. Still, due to the fact that the topic is interesting, it should never bore the audience at all. That's why we did make another version of the movie 41 years later. Hi, my name is Sienna Gullery, and I was the one that played the role of Emma in the movie. My role was really important to the plot of the story, since due to my death, it was that Alexander wanted to create the time machine. It was because of my unexpected death that he wanted to travel to the past and be with me again. That's why I consider my role as an important one in the movie.
Hi, my name is Samantha Mumba. I play the role of Mara, one of the most important alien creatures in the future. I helped Alexander overcome his problems, and he saved me from the Morlocks. Alexander and I fell in love at the end of the movie and decided to live together in the future. It was a great experience to play the role of such a potential character. I always wanted to participate on a successful film like The Time Machine.
In the movie Time Machine, I play the role of Alexander Hardigan, the time traveler who invented and created the time machine. Alexander is a very intelligent and educated man who is in love of a beautiful woman named Emma. When Emma died, Alexander wanted to save her traveling to the past. After several tries of saving her and failing, Alexander had an accident and ended up in the future, where he met Mara along with the Eloy critters. He learned about the society and realized he was not able to save Emma and decided to stay in the future. While doing this movie, I had a lot of fun. I also think a lot about time, and this movie made me conscious about it. It was a great experience. If I could travel in time, I would definitely do it. I would visit the past to learn about history and ancient societies. I would love to meet important people that changed the world and make it a better place in their times, like, for example, Thomas Edison or Albert Einstein. I would not try to change the past. This movie made me realize that changing the past is not an option, and what is done is done. Trying to change it would be a loss of time. Still, it would be really interesting living moments again. I could answer many unanswered questions like evolution or the creation of the world. Imagine all things, places, and people that you can meet or learn from by traveling to the past. This is the main reason I had a lot of fun and a good time. This is the main reason I would travel in time.
While making the film, there were several struggles the crew faced. Problems that are common in science fiction movies, ones that include the media, special effects, and all that stuff. But still, with all those problems they had to face, they did such a great job, leading them to a nomination for the Best Makeup on the Academy Award.
Making a science fiction film implies lots of work. The representation of the Morlocks was done with actors who had to use animatronic masks. Being under a mask for the whole filming time is not comfortable at all. Besides, sometimes we needed the Morlocks to act more extravagant than what humans can be. So that was where we needed to put more effort and invest on lighting and magic companies.
Due to the fact that the movie refers a lot to time traveling and involves creatures that act beyond the possibilities of humans, it was a requirement for us to include lots of lighting and effects to make it seem real. It was a hard job since it's all about creating an illusion on the audience, making them feel like they're actually traveling in time. We had to work with Industrial Light and Magic. They were the ones in charge of the computer-generated imagery stuff. Most of the movie required their assistance and their participation. It was thanks to their help that the movie could success in its effects and its appearance as reality.
Doing the makeup to the cast was not easy job. Alexander and Mara makeup was a simple job, but the Chief Morlock was very complicated. The Chief Morlock hairstyle and makeup was a success. It was difficult to make him look pale, and it took 4 straight hours to finish only his body. Making his face took a lot less time, but we have to make sure the details were perfect. The Eloy creatures were easy to make. They just needed some details in their faces and sparkle on their bodies to make them look different from a human. The Murloc creatures' makeup involved a lot of time and effort, but most of their looks were costumes. The movie won the Academy Award for the Best Makeup and Hairstyle in 2002, which was a huge satisfaction for all the crew.